Welcome to my Rock-on Garage, guys, and today I'm gonna present you the setup of my KTM 200 Duke stunt bike. Follow me. For the good atmosphere on the live shows, I work with DJ Akrapovic, stainless steel slip-on exhaust, and I like it because already, as mentioned, good sound, and the most important feature for me is that it's pretty lightweight in comparison with the standard version, and yeah, it just looks sick. And I protect it with crash pads, so if I crash it always looks fresh, and I don't need to change it every week, new slip-on exhaust. For the rear shock suspension, we changed the standard version with a VWP prototype shock. The reason is that because I need a little bit better rebound, and it needs to be much stiffer than the standard one. So we changed a little bit and made it a little bit better. And then also one of the most important parts to protect your bike is the so-called crash cage. I use the standard one from KTM Power Parts, and we also fitted LSL crash pads on it, so I don't need to change the crash cage every month, so I just changed the crash pads. To round my freestyle bike up, I wanted to add a little bit of my style to it, so we added all the ingredients that represent Rock Bagoraj, which is Rock-on logos, all the sponsor logos. Just basically do a really cool sticker kit for the 200 Duke, and yeah, it's one of my favorite liveries that I rode on my small Dukes ever. To control my tricks, I use a double brake system. For my handbrake, I use a Brembo caliper with 4 pistons in it, with Magura pump, and for my foot brake setup I use Vibra standard caliper, and everything is mounted on MG Bike Tech brake spacer with plug and play system, pretty simple to mount, and that's my brake setup. So one of the most common questions is which tire do I use on my stunt bike, and I prefer the Mitas Sport Force tire. It gives me a really good grip in all the conditions: wet, dry, hot, cold. And what is really important for a stunt rider is that the tire gives you a really good grip when it's overheated. It means when you are drifting a lot, the tire gets really hot. It needs to give you then a really constant grip. And with this tire I found a perfect tire for myself, and I really would recommend also to everybody else, and also a normal rider can use it on the street also. I use the Rock-on steel sub cage, power coated in black oil for sure. Pretty simple design, really lightweight, and for me what is the most important is the foot position. What is also the second feature on my sub cage is also that it's not only for my foot, but it's a kind of a crash protection. So when I crash, it's not only my crash cage, but also the sub cage is protecting the bike from breaking other parts. So let's continue to the next really important part, which is the wheelie bar that almost every stunt rider uses on their stunt bikes. I have the Rock-on stunt wheelie bar, which we developed with my team. It's quite a simple shape, but it's a lot of thinking behind it. We take care that it's a perfect length, perfect angle, so I can stand good on it, and my weight distribution is in the perfect position while doing circles. And it needs to be also strong when I hit the ground, and I have also a scrape plate on it, so if I scrape that I can put the fire trick on. We equipped my stunt bike with some grippy seats, so the main seat is the KTM Power Parts seat, because it has really good material that gives me a lot of grip, especially in the wet conditions. And for the passenger seat, we just reshaped the standard seat. We made it a little bit higher, so I have a good support when I do sit-down tricks, and I really like this seat setup. For my sprocket setup, I use a standard sprocket on the front, and on the rear I use the Rock Bagoraj stunt sprocket with 56 teeth and made out of really high quality aluminum. So let's continue to the next stunt part, which is the tank cover and or let's say tank seat. And we developed for my 200 Duke a tank cover out of carbon fiber because it's much lighter, and you cannot do it like other stunt riders are doing it with a hammer to smash the tank in and shape a nice seat, because my tank is out of plastic, so that's why we made it out of carbon fiber. And I really like the shape now, and it helps me to do all the high chair tricks. We changed the standard one with a KTM Power Parts 320mm disc brake, made by Braking, the Spanish brake company, and it's way better than the standard one in terms of overheating, braking power, everything. So I have much better control on the stoppies, and the kangaroo stoppies are way easier, and it's just, I think, a must-have on a Duke bike. On the front rim I mounted the Mito Sport Force tire, and the same as on the back, size 110/70/17, the standard size, and I really like it for my stoppie game. All my freestyle bikes I use the front Rock-On freestyle packs, and I use it for two reasons. First one is to protect my brake setup while crashing, and then the second one is so I can do all the flatland BMX style of tricks. So let's continue to my cockpit, where I give all the commands to my Duke, and I use KTM Power Parts motocross grips. Then I prefer the Magura 13mm brake pump. For me personally, the best combination with a Brembo caliper in the back. Then I use this side up clutch easy pull lever from a company out of Russia. Then I have a second throttle control also from Magura, so I can fix the throttle and do all the no hand tricks and so on. And then I use for my handlebar, I use CPX Magura handlebar. I like it because it's more flat, it's not so high, and it's wide enough for all the tricks that I want to do, especially when I jump over with the legs and so on. And then the front brake is a standard one from the Duke, the Vibre brake, and that's pretty much it about my handlebar setup. I hope you liked the presentation of my KTM 200 Duke stunt bike, and if you have some more questions about the setup or some parts, let me know in comments below. And if you want to build a Duke on your own with the same parts as mine, you can find them in our online shop here.